In some cases, going from couch potato to doing some movement, capillaries are reopened up into the muscles, so you have a lot more of a blood flow going into the muscles, which allows more of the plasma-free fatty acids to be delivered. You also have muscle triglyceride content increased, and that also can affect insulin sensitivity. And insulin also helps with the movement of the free fatty acids to get sent out there. Okay. You have the lipoprotein lipase, you have the fatty acid transporters increasing. Both adipose muscle cells are increased sensitivity to epinephrine, which helps for free fatty acids to be released, and triglycerides from the muscles. You know, your fatty acid transports, we just talked about that. The ability to use ketones, all right, as an energy source is increased. I still don't think you should rely on that, but the fact that you can is pretty cool, which means for somebody who is trained, them hitting the wall is going to be later than for somebody who hasn't trained. All right. Your mitochondria increases in size and number, okay, and which also then means your enzymes are going to increase as well, okay, and then also the activation of the free fatty acid and the transport across the mitochondrial membrane, okay, and then even more the oxidative enzymes. So all of this happens with training, which means as you train, it's kind of that survival technique of the body. If you're not training, your body's not going to put the energy to being able to do that activity well. Once you start training, the body wakes up and goes, oh, okay, if they're going to do this, then we need to make sure that there's more blood flow. We need to make sure that the oxidative enzymes are high. So we're going to put energy toward the body being able to accomplish this training. If we aren't training, the body is all about survival. It's going to put that energy somewhere else to be used. Okay, does that make sense? You guys pretty good there? So like I said, the amine carnitine helps to facilitate getting the free fatty acid into mitochondria. We'll talk about it as, oh, look at, there it is in my slide. So we look at it as an ergogenic aid possibility. What are some strategies here? And actually, the studies, of course, first of all, a lot of them are inconclusive. That's usually what, whenever you read like a meta-analysis of some studies, it's saying that they went and took all of the studies that have to do with carnitine. They pooled them all together and went through and read each one and organized them, and then wrote up a report saying these past 30 studies that had to do with carnitine. Okay. Some of them contradicted each other, you know, and but overall we are finding that no, it is not an ergogenic aid. It does not help or increase. And you can see that with all of these. So fat loading is similar to the carbohydrate loading, fasting, going without, omega-3 fatty acids, carnitine, but the caffeine is the one that they said yes. So just real quick, I'm just going to look at this and then we're going to wrap up so we can head over to what you get. So will fasting help improve my performance? It may, so fasting for 24 hours may increase the availability. However, fasting may also impair carbohydrate availability, reducing muscle glycogen. So now you don't have the carbohydrate to use. And then also remember there has to be some carbohydrate present in order to be able to use the fat better. Okay? But then, you know, if we look at any of you wrestlers before, if any of you wrestled, okay, so wrestlers, and they're still doing it, and it just makes me angry. Trying to make weight, you know, these kids trying to get down to that lower level, and I'm like, man, just train at the level you are, and you'll be optimally fit and stronger, and you won't fatigue as fast. But anyway, that's my belief on that. But they still do that, and they'll fast and try to cut weight, and anyway. But doing that, and the yo-yo dieting, if you remember, so they'll let their weight be, and then they'll cut it really fast, and then it'll come back on because of how they cut it, you know, and so it's constantly up and down. That's not good for the body, right? Not good for the body at all. All right, so omega-3, so basically they're saying that there are no ergogenic effects of intaking omega-3 fatty acids, except this was really interesting. So this was probably one of the side things that they found, were that people with asthma, so exercise-induced asthma, that doing this helped to reduce the effects of exercise-induced asthma. So go figure. So that's kind of cool. So omega-3 fatty acids, that's something to kind of tuck in the back of your brain. When you're working with people who have asthma, increase your omega-3s, right? So carnitine. And I used to do a workout with a lady. She was a big advocate of carnitine. And she would spray it, like in the middle of working out, you know, she would take a couple sprays. But they have found, even though it helps to transport it, the free fatty acids into the mitochondria, they have found out these things. So, you know, the result that they wanted didn't happen. So even though the transport occurred, it did not give the result that they wanted. Okay? So the bottom line of this really is that you should just keep the consistent. You need fat in your diet. So for athletes, if you're working with athletes that are trying to figure out, you know, should I increase my fat? The research shows that no. Go ahead and just keep it where it is, and you know, focus on eating good, healthy, whole foods, and go from there. And that it actually could have a detrimental effect. Okay? So the last thing, caffeine. And you guys, for those of you who have the different sections, your textbook has some pretty good sections. And they have some references in here of where they got their information. So your textbook might be a good place to start to find the research studies that you need to back up what you're going to tell the coaches about your topic. All right, so the original theory of enhancing oxidation of free fatty acids and spare muscle glycogen and to enhance aerobic endurance. It does appear to sustain the aerobic performance, help to reduce perceived exertion, increases use of carbohydrates that are intaken. So if you combine caffeine and the carbohydrate together, that's going to help use that. It helps to facilitate the absorption of glucose. So caffeine was the only thing of the ergogenic aids that they researched that do appear to help. But I was just having a conversation with an athlete this week about, you know, you still need to be careful. Having some coffee in the morning is great, but if you have to have, you know, a monster drink or two to get through, I just don't know if that's the best thing to do. But the other issue here is that in those drinks they put other addictive things. So it may not be the caffeine that keeps you going back to a monster drink. There might be something in there. So if you are trying to decrease, because there are some regulations as to how much caffeine an athlete can have, depending on where they are. And that specific amount at the Olympics is different than the NCAA. You know, so you have to do your research, and if you're working with athletes, be careful what you tell them about caffeine because they could get disqualified. That would be horrible because you didn't know all of your information. So make sure you understand how much they're allowed to have. And you know, a cup of coffee or two a day is probably not going to affect that. But adding in a couple monsters might, plus all of the other stuff in a monster. And I'm not quite sure what all is in there. So, yeah.
What do you say about like C4 or pre-workout?
Say that again.
What would you say about C4 or pre-workout?
You know what, and I would have to say, I need to research that. I heard that earlier this week too, and that was on my list of things to look up. What all is in there?
It's caffeine.
Is it just caffeine?
No, I have other things as well. I'm not.
Okay, yeah, let me look that up and kind of see what's there and talk with a couple peeps and see, because I've had that question too, just this week, so I will look into that, okay. Thoughts, questions, comments? Okay, all right. We will see you on Monday. We will wrap this up, but it kind of goes with choose my place. We'll just do all that together.
Because like, bitches thing, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm right about it. It's like, it's probably gonna be packed, so like.
There you go. Yeah. Are you trying to see if you have
No, I never.
No, and no, you just look